everyone, and welcome to eLearnChat, where talk is knowledge. I'm Rick Zanotti, and this show is sponsored today by Relate Corporation at www.relate.com. And we've got a real interesting show today. It's something we've been looking forward to for a while. In the past, we've had Yuri Yuskov. He is the CEO of Ispring Solutions, and today we have someone else from Ispring. Someone much prettier than Yuri, but that's okay. But before that, let's go to somebody very pretty in our neck of the woods, and that is Dawn Mahoney. Hey, Dawn, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning. It's morning here and evening over there, so a good evening and good morning. We have folks from all over the world on our show today.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Dawn, we've got today with us. Well, actually, before we start, you just came back from Presentation Summit, didn't you?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Last week I was at the ASTD Best Awards, but 2 weeks ago I was at the Presentation Summit.
Well, we didn't see you last week. That's why I thought it was last week. Okay. How was it?
You saw me last week from Washington, D.C.
You're right.
And the Presentation Summit, besides being in gorgeous Fort Lauderdale at the beach, I always go away from that having made new connections, new friends, and being astounded by the power of PowerPoint. So I think that's a good dovetail into talking about the Ispring products today.
Well, yeah, that's going to be interesting, especially when we talk about the power of PowerPoint. So yes. Without further ado, well, today we've got with us Polina Khizhnyak. And I think I said that right.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Rick.
Hi, Polina. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm really happy to be here, and thank you greatly for inviting me.
Oh, no, that's our pleasure. And Polina is the marketing manager. She works in sales. Have you done support, too?
Oh, yes. I was in the support team also.
She's worked on a lot of different things with the Ispring product, and Polina comes to us from Ispring, which is actually headquartered in the U.S. It's in Alexandria, Virginia, and in Russia, it is in Yoshkar-Ola, Russia, which is about 500 miles I guess, east of Moscow. So not far from the Volga River, right?
That's true. And I didn't know about the Alexandria connection. How cool.
Yeah. Yep. So, Polina, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you. Just released our new product, Ispring Presenter, and getting feedback from our customers, and that's very exciting.
This is version 7?
Yes, it's version 7. It's all updated with cool features and modern technologies.
I was pretty modern before.
Tell us a little bit about the cool features.
Well, the best thing about Ispring Presenter 7 is that now it can convert your course into HTML5 and Flash format. And that allows you to deliver your content all over, different mobile devices. And that really makes your e-learning go mobile.
Oh, fabulous. So all devices, or are we talking mainly iOS and Android?
All devices.
All devices. So even BlackBerry?
I think BlackBerry, if they have a browser, will support HTML5, so yeah.
Yes, yes, that's the thing about it. That's we are talking about the content delivery.
Okay,
just
great.
To make a correction, not the content creation.
Now, Dawn, I have to correct one thing, though. Anybody actually still use BlackBerry?
Did I just show you mine?
You have a BlackBerry. You're one of the few.
I have a Bold, and it's new. So,
interesting.
Yep.
Actually, they're good phones. I've seen the new Bold one. It's actually pretty cool.
When I sit in an airport and type whole paragraphs, I want a keyboard. So this is my work phone.
What were you saying, Polina?
My dad uses one also.
The BlackBerry, okay.
Yes,
great,
and for
All
the
right, we now have 2 people identified who use BlackBerry.
Yes,
and we're
actually
old.
For the past half of a year, he was encouraging me to get one also.
They're nice phones. The problem is they're not popular anymore. I think they have 4%.
Yeah,
they're not even 4% of the market, which is pretty low. Android is killing everybody right now.
So there's a question in the chat room about will it support Windows 8?
Oh, yes.
It's ready to rock and roll with Windows 8 and touch technology and all of that.
Sure.
Oh, with touch technology?
Yeah, a lot of those screens. Yeah, a lot of the screens are going touch with the Windows 8.
That's true. I guess, well, but the whole thing about that is anything that's an object that's touchable technically works. I'm not sure if it's touchable on a browser. Have you guys tried that?
Touchable. But
In
could
other
you
words,
please?
that if you have a next button, you can click on it with your finger. I've never
Yes.
tried that. You can. Okay. That's kind of a neat feature.
It works on iOS. It should work that way on Windows 8, I would think. So
It certainly works with PowerPoint 2013.
That's right. I've been trying that. I have to make a full disclosure too. We work with Ispring many times. I forgot to do that right at the beginning. We work with them. We're doing trade shows with them in the booth. We're having a fun time. We're guests in the booth, and it's really fun being there. And that's how I met Polina the first time. She was at Learning Solutions in Orlando back in March, and she was kind of running the booth. She was in charge of making sure everything was going well and directing traffic and just answering a lot of questions. And it was fun meeting her. So we do have a relationship with Ispring. Just wanted to make that up clear. And we use the product as well as other products. So anyway, Polina, with
Yes.
Ispring 7, I noticed that the program seems faster. It seems like they've added a lot of. Now I've been working with the beta. I haven't even played with the final version yet, but in essence, the program seems just faster. And one thing I find interesting, and I've talked about this in the past, is that I have not yet found one feature. Well, I did once. Actually, my wife did. Leslie found one feature that didn't work in Ispring, and she reported that within a week it worked. And that was a really strange feature I didn't even know existed. And that was that you can, in PowerPoint, you can actually add a video file and then have that go across multiple slides, as many slides as you want. Dawn, did you know about that one?
I learned about it 2 weeks ago.
Okay, I did not know about that one until about 3 months ago. And
Did you know you can put text on video too in PowerPoint? I didn't know that.
no, I didn't. Because most people don't use that much video in PowerPoint. However, Ispring, when we called them up and said, hey, you can't do this, they asked, is this an important feature? And my wife said, absolutely. So within a week it was ready. And I went, oh, that's cool. And I think we've used it once, just playing around with the demo we did. But it's a nice feature, and I really haven't come across any features it doesn't do yet, which is pretty amazing, from all the transitions to all the animations. What else? Just even the arcane features of PowerPoint, it seems to handle pretty well. And the interesting thing is it handles it in HTML5 as well. Polina, one of the engineers once told me over there that in some cases, what they do is actually smoother or cleaner than PowerPoint. Have you had that experience? In other words, what they generate is as clean or cleaner than what PowerPoint does.
Oh, sure, yeah. And that's really exciting when you get that outcome.
Yeah, it actually works really well.
So I have further questions about gestures and touch technology when you're ready for those questions. These are coming from Leva, who is in Belgium, and she wants to know if all touch gestures are supported, the swiping, the pinching, and can they be assigned like they can in programs like Edge?
Okay, that's a very interesting question, but I assume that yes, we support that kind of features.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. But in essence,
We'll have to try it.
yeah, in essence, because I haven't tried it on the iPad, for example, yet, at least not with the new version. Ideally, and Polina, just to make sure, on gestures, the hand movements, that kind of stuff, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So they may work. I'm not sure. That'd be interesting. It'd be an interesting test to see if that works, because the swipes and all that are pretty important. I think the swipes work. I think I've seen that work. I don't know about the pinching and stuff. It may. Not sure. There is an Ispring player, correct, on iPads and other devices?
I have
Yes,
the player.
that's true.
And I threw the question to Olga, is in Russia. She's in the chat room, so I threw some of that back to her to respond to. She's doing a little checking right now, so I'll update the audience when I get it.
Now, Polina, tell us where you're at right now. It looks like you're at work. It's late over there, right? It's about 7 o'clock at night?
Yes, it's actually 10 minutes past 7, and that's our office.
Okay.
That's where our support team is based.
Oh, so you joined them today. So you are in the support room.
Yes, getting the spirit of helping people and so on.
That's fun. How many people work at night over there? Look, I see a couple people behind you.
Do you mean the night shift?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Well, that's about two people
Okay.
who handle the night shift.
And then
Well,
your side-
actually 3. I should say it's 3.
Okay.
There's 3 behind you. Yep.
Are there 3? I see 1, 2, you're right, 3. How many people? You have people also in the U.S. right now who are doing support.
Yes.
So
It's Brian, and he's also going to join us at the DevLearn conference where we're going this October. So we're going to meet him in a couple of weeks.
Oh, actually, you are going to the DevLearn, and we're going to be there with you guys. What are you going to be showing at DevLearn? Anything new? Anything different? I know you're going to be showing the Ispring 7. Any other plans at DevLearn?
Actually, we were thinking about, I just wanted to say that our main goal for DevLearn is to build win-win relations with our future clients, hopefully, and to foster the ongoing connections. And to do that, we will probably have like the drawing, but we haven't decided what's going to be yet, so we'll keep it a secret until the actual conference.
Oh, bummer. I'm not going to be there.
So you will miss the drawing, Dawn,
I
whatever
will
that
miss
is.
the drawing. Rats.
Maybe you can change your plans.
I wish I could. I've been trying to make it happen. It's not going to work this year.
Well,
So
we
you'll,
have been going to, sorry.
Go ahead.
We have been going to several conferences throughout the year, and we have some conference from e-learning guilds such as Learning Solutions in our plans. So by any chance, if you can come and visit, please do.
Well, and Leva will be there. She'll be doing several of the Captivate sessions, as she always does, but she'll definitely stop by, I think.
That's great.
Yeah, it's usually a fun show. Learning Solutions is one of the good ones. Actually, not Learning Solutions, DevLearn. Actually, Learning Solutions is good too. Most of the guild shows are really good.
She wants to know what clocks are behind you, the time zones that are being shown. I'm not going to even attempt to guess at that. The one in the
clocks?
middle is
Yeah.
your present time, right?
Yeah. It's the Moscow time, and then we also have the Eastern Standard Time and Pacific. And then we have, it's also London and Tokyo.
So the key question is, does anybody really know what time it is?
She's too young to
That's
know
a good
that
question.
song.
I know, it's an old song. I know. Hey, you'd be surprised how many people know those old songs that are young. I'm always amazed when I run into people who go, I know that song. That's Chicago.
So there, further question, if you want to try to tackle this about the new features, and the question is, when you bring your PowerPoint developed program or natively developed program, either one, into Ispring Presenter, is it wrapped in a player and then can be integrated with HTML web pages? That's the 2 questions.
I'm not sure if I got the first part of the question correctly. Could you please put it in a different way?
Well, it commonly in the e-learning sphere, when you develop your content, it sits inside of a frame with the next and the previous buttons and all that. That's called the player. Mm-hmm. And there's a player involved with Ispring products as well.
Yes, that's correct. So what they're asking is that on the outcome, is that going to be wrapped in a player?
Mm-hmm. That's the first question.
Yes, that's correct. The Ispring player, which I must say is great because it's completely customizable. You can add your company logo and change the color templates and so on, add nodes, and I mean, it's just very useful. It's good looking, and it's, I mean, great to use.
In fact, I've got a picture of it right now from your demo on the website. That's a picture of the Ispring logo with a video on the upper left, and you've got your navigation buttons And I think what Polina was saying is that is all completely customizable, from colors to backgrounds and everything else.
Yeah, sorry if I'm not being very clear, but you can find all the information about the new features that have been added to the product on our website. It has been put up there in a very good way so that you can clearly see what has been added to the product, what's new basically. So it will be on the top bar, and there you will just see the tab what's new, and then you click on it and you get all the features.
Okay, great. And then the rest of the question was, I have to scroll back to it. I have an ad playing on my computer. So the player can be integrated in an HTML formatted web page as well? Question mark.
Yeah, I think so. Well, you know what?
It runs in HTML. No, it does. It runs in HTML on the web. Well, it'll run on the web in either HTML5 or in Flash.
Whatever you choose.
Yes, whatever you choose. However you output it.
Okay.
And you
then
can
Mary
output to
wants
both.
to know about the workflows. Is it a standard workflow? She hasn't played with it yet, but I think they're all intrigued.
What's a standard workflow?
I don't know.
So, do you mean like the process of creation, the content?
Hopefully she'll weigh in here. Don't laugh at me, Rick.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to understand the question. Well, I think, when you create your presentation and then you enhance it with different features using tools of PowerPoint and also tools of Ispring, and then you just click on the Publish button and choose the settings that you would like to apply, and then you're ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of curious at what they meant by standard workflow. It's your typical PowerPoint workflow where you develop the PowerPoint, you develop all of the graphics and whatever else, you put it into PowerPoint. It's an add-on or add-in into PowerPoint, and then from there you can add your interactions, your quizzes, and everything else, and then when you publish, it puts it all together.
Poof, magic.
It is magic. Now, one thing interesting about Polina, a lot of people don't know, unless you've been to the trade shows and have talked with her. You know, Polina's English is pretty good, but Polina also went to high school. Part of her high school was done in Pennsylvania.
Oh,
yes, it's in Kutztown.
Kutztown. Was that close to
If
Philadelphia?
you heard of that town at all?
No, was that close to Philadelphia?
It's close. It's close to Reading and Allentown.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Know where that is then, yes.
And it has a Kutztown University there. So I think that's maybe one well-known thing about it.
Now, question for you. We do talk a lot about education here and things like that. What do you see as some of the big differences between, let's say, the American education and the Russian one? What are some of the differences that you've come across?
Well, actually, it's just the whole different world. It's very different. But I think that the most interesting difference is that kids in the United States are actually allowed to choose their classes and set their schedule. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Probably true. It's a good and bad thing.
That's what I thought, because on the one hand, you can choose the classes that you would like to attend and actually be sure what you're going to do with your life. But when you're 14 or 15, 16 years old, you don't know what you're going to do tonight and not with the rest of your life. So I think that can be hard, challenging, and also put big responsibilities on you.
That's true.
But I actually, sorry for interrupting, just wanted to add that I liked that part the most, because I have experienced that the first time in my life, that I can actually put classes that I would like to attend.
That's actually, I think, in a lot of parts of the world, most of the curriculums tend to be given to you, and you don't have a lot of choices as to what to take. And I agree. Dawn, what do you think?
I was a product of the 70s, so that shows my age. But we had modular scheduling and got to choose. Also, there were core classes you had to complete by the time you graduated. But I loved the ability to choose because I got to take things that I wouldn't have normally. Writing, creative writing, more music, more art. the things I love. And
So
then I
that's
had
what I
math.
chose also, arts, ceramics.
Oh, you're artistic.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
That's pretty good. Yeah, but I think I'll argue the other point that when you have too much choice and at that age, you tend not to make the best choices.
Yes, well, that's what I thought about.
Yeah, I think in our school system, well, we've watered it down so much that's another issue, but you don't get a lot
Rick
of
lives
choices.
in California.
Oh,
you know,
California, we
can't
won't
go
even
there.
talk about California. I think we're number 49 out of 50 in terms of scoring, and that's nothing to be proud of. I hear some people in California going, we're one of the best school systems. Yeah, in the lower 49. So we're better than 50, but that's not saying much.
My dad
You know,
bargained with me to ensure that I took typing because that was an elective course. And I thought, why am I ever going to need that? Well, you know, prophetically.
Yeah,
Do we type all day, every day? Yeah.
yeah. But what were you going to say, Polina?
Just wanted to mention also that I lived in a family, and they had 3 children, 3 girls, and all of them were homeschooled. So
Oh,
I also
interesting.
experienced different kind of education system.
Right, because homeschooling is different, and it has its pros and cons too. Though, when
Yeah,
homeschooling
it
is
is.
done right, then they get a lot of social activity with other kids, and even with some schools. So it's sort of interesting.
That was
Yeah, that's what I thought also.
You got the best of both worlds then. Got to see.
So when you went back to Russia, was it a shock going back?
Well, not really. But now I understand actually, I have probably become more certain about some of things in my life. And that's why I'm very thankful to that experience.
That's good. How did you wind up doing that?
We just had a competition in our school. Actually, not in our school, but in Russia. And about 20,000 of kids took part in it. And there were only 300 finalists that were sent to the United States.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And that's a good program because they tend to change all that understanding about cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So I can now tell that I understand people who live in the United States, and I'm glad about that.
And you've been here several times on trade shows and something like that.
Yes, and that definitely helps. I mean, that experience definitely helps.
You know how crazy we are.
We all are people, so
Right.
different,
It's true.
very different.
It's true. It's true. Well, everybody's fascinated. They haven't been typing anything in the chat room right now, so I got nothing to provide.
And one of the things that you work for an engineering company, and engineers, from what I've seen in Russia, engineers are pretty skilled. They're some of the best engineers in the world right now. We used to be. We don't graduate a lot of engineers anymore, which is really a shame. I think we're one of the lowest, if not the lowest, in the industrial countries graduating engineers. That's sort of interesting. I think it's a big loss on our part because we're offshoring our engineering. Not a good thing to do. But what kind of curriculum I know at Ispring, Yuri also runs a programming school, which is
Yes.
very interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Do you know anything about his school? What he's doing with programming?
The program in school for kids?
Yes.
Or they study different things there. I think that they learn initial programming, and also they learn about robots.
Robots?
Yes. I forgot what the class is called, but they learn how to actually build a robot.
Oh, fun.
And then program it to do different stuff and things. And I think that's a good thing to, that helps kids to actually enhance their brains.
Yeah.
And maybe make up sort of a decision about what they would be interested in their future.
Yeah.
And help them to understand that programming is not that hard.
No, it's not that hard. It requires a social. Have you ever programmed?
No.
No?
That's not for me.
You're artistic.
And the watchers
True.
of this show know I don't code or program either. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. I used to be a programmer. I spent a lot of time, many years programming. The good old
no
days.
interest.
Yeah,
/M / P.
What's next?
Yeah, I'm done. That's all I got.
Me too.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So Mary Vivett says it's way cool to hear about this and see how companies can help. I think it's really having a lot of forethought for Yuri to think about almost a succession planning model. He's helping kids learn skills that will be job skills in the future.
Well, one of the things,
make them successful.
One of the things that Yuri has in mind, and I think he's already started this, is building a university which has a 2 to 4 year curriculum for advanced programming, from programming all the way to advanced programming, and focused strictly on programmers, which is actually a cool idea. And he will have foreign students, so that's coming. I did see some of what he was doing with that and the curriculums that they have. It's actually really a good curriculum. I know some people here who actually want to do it. They said, I'll go. The 21-year-old guy I know, he says, I want to go. So it's kind of, because he had another idea. He says, I want to go. The girls are pretty in Russia. I go, oh, gosh.
Did you burst his bubble and tell him he's too old? He's 21.
No. He was more than willing to do that. But it's really funny. But there are people very interested in that. And, we have very good programming schools here, but it's a different approach, the way Yuri was doing it. And the building blocks were very interesting. And again, it was focused almost entirely on programming. So you really got to learn a lot of different programming skills, which is fun.
That's true. And I also think that's a good opportunity for kids because it gives them, and for other people, because that gives them more choice, whether to go to that university or to go to the government one. Right.
So that's actually an interesting idea, and we wish him all the luck on that one because it's a
Absolutely.
good thing. It's a good thing. And a lot of people don't really know Yuri. I've met Yuri several years ago, and one thing about Yuri, he has one of the biggest passions for teaching I've ever met. And he's a business owner. He's an engineer. He develops things. But when you start talking education, the eyes light up. I mean, really light up. So
that's true. And that's the way everybody in the class behaves. That's what I realized. Because I think he's very, very talented in that, in teaching, actually. And at explaining stuff and making it interesting and engaging.
Yeah, and it becomes contagious.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
You want to do what he's doing and enjoy it the way he enjoys it. That's what teaching is.
So, Polina, you're going to be at DevLearn. Are you going to Learning Solutions too, by any chance?
I don't know yet, but I might.
Okay.
We liked that conference from the past year. It was a great experience. We met with our existing clients, we met our future clients, and we have heard a lot about our products. Very useful feedback, by the way. So yes, we are definitely planning to going to the Learning Solutions, but if I'm come there, I don't know yet.
Okay, well, hopefully you can make it. It's a fun show, and people have a good time with that. So in terms of e-learning, how do you see Ispring 7 as adding more value to the e-learning community?
Okay, so here I would like to say a little bit about e-learning, is that I think that world really gets mobile. So does e-learning. So all the authoring tools have to fit into that situation and offer the solutions for the e-learning developers and experts to be able to deliver their content on all devices and platforms. So I think that Ispring actually follows that trend really well. And it's not, that kind of a trend with mobile learning that's going to die. I think it's going to actually grow really, really fast. And it already did. That's what I think.
Well, it's interesting. They said that right now, 70%, maybe even 80% of all websites are not being visited by desktops. They're being visited by devices, which is fascinating.
That's true because, yes, mobile is, your smartphone or your tablet is the first thing that you see all the content on. And then if you're really interested, only after that you go to your home computer, to your desktop, and then you just start browsing it on a bigger screen.
Yeah. Dawn, do you find that people in your company, for example, are doing mobile at all?
We're still in the space where we want our frontline associates to not have their cell phones out. We're in senior housing, and it's confusing and distracting, and but we are toying with how we're going to bring that into the education space.
So are you finding also that people are getting more and more into tablets and stuff? We work with a lot of clients that don't use mobile only because of security reasons and things like that. But,
our leadership team is they're tied to their PDA, whatever, a smartphone, and more have, mostly it's iOS, so the iPad.
Yeah.
I use my iPad for work all the time.
Do you?
Yeah. It's bigger than the phone. I can do more with it. You can answer emails at ridiculous times of day or night.
Yeah. Yeah, and remember, if you do have your iPad, turn notifications off, or it will be going off all night.
Yeah.
That happened to me when I first got the iPad. I'm going, why is it making so much noise? Oh, it's notifications.
Well, I like it too because I can get my work email and my personal email all at one device. I don't have to switch back and forth.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. That's true. You know, I've been using my iPad less and less, and I'm actually using my Samsung Galaxy Note 2, and I'm going to get the Note 3 next week or this week if it's out.
Or gadgets. Mr.
I love that thing.
Gadgets.
It's great. I'm actually giving my mom my Note 2. This is her first smartphone, so she's almost 80, so it's going to be interesting. What will she do with it? She has a cane. I'm afraid she's going to hit it with her cane, but hopefully not.
I saw a post the other day that about text messaging that mother kept sending blank text messages on, and it was iOS. You could see the bubbles, and it was her trying to unlock her phone. So
no.
I'm thinking you'll see things like that.
We might. That's funny.
Yeah, I haven't decided to go that big phone look yet. I'm happy to have this Motorola Razr that's small and skinny and light and.
Oh, my phone's small and skinny and light. It's just twice as big as most other phones.
Yeah.
Is it convenient for you to actually talk on the phone?
Yeah, I have pretty large hands, so I have no problem. It's very comfy. It's not.
Yeah,
very
my
thick.
hands are too small for that kind of gadgets.
Okay, when I see you in Las Vegas, I'll give you my phone. You can hold it, see how you feel. Most people go, this isn't that difficult. But it is a combination of a phone and almost a mini tablet.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Doesn't fit in your pocket.
It does fit in my pocket, but I don't put phones in my pocket anyway.
It wouldn't fit in Polina's pocket.
Probably not.
I don't have pockets.
Yeah, see? Won't fit in her pocket.
But I have a friend who's doing her PhD program, and she loves it because it has so much capability beyond being a phone. There we are with that conversation again.
That's right.
She literally, when I was driving from Dallas to San Antonio after ASTD International Conference, she was crafting documents and emailing and all of that at once on her Samsung Note.
Oh, fun.
So she's loving it for that, the true mobility of that device.
That sounds great. Well, we are just about at the end of our time. Yep, we are at the end of our time. Polina, anything you want to finish with? Anything you want to tell people?
Well, just wanted to thank you again for inviting me to join you today, and wanted to invite everybody else who is coming to DevLearn conference to stop by our booth number 504 and meet with the team, because we are very passionate and enthusiastic about the future of e-learning, and we would like to share that experience with other people, and just like I said before, build and foster ongoing connections with them.
Sounds great.
I'm so glad you're going to be there.
Yeah, we're glad you could make it today. We really appreciate you. I know you're working late today, so we appreciate you working late for us. And also, I think next week we have Camtasia person, right?
Couple people. If we can make that work.
Yep, we're going to try to make that
work. It's a company called Learn Camtasia. So, looking forward to it.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Polina. Thank you for staying late for us.
Oh, no problem. Thank you very much for your welcoming. It was
You're
very
welcome.
nice. Thanks.
And
We'll
for
see you
all
on
of
the
you,
web.
and for all you folks in the chat room, thanks for being there. And if you're watching the recording, please subscribe and give us feedback. We'd love hearing from you. Have a
Right.
good one, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
You asked about the number of users. Okay, so the number of users means that you can have the number of users you can have at one time. So these are